Good evening, folks, and welcome to the 100th episode of Beer Rating with Sean Connors. This was started last January, so 15 months ago, and we're at number 100, so it's a bit of a milestone for me. We're also in the midst of the COVID-19, and here in Newfoundland, Canada, pretty well everything's shut down. Most of us are homebound. There's not a state of emergency as such, but it's total chaos. I mean, somebody had to tell us 6 months ago that in 6 months' time the whole world would be shut down. We would have laughed at them or thought they were crazy, but here we are. But we got to make the best of it, so I'll go ahead with the episode. This is also the last beer for the month of March, which was designated Newfoundland Beer Month by yours truly. And this is the beer we have. So the beer we have is from Western Newfoundland Brewing Company. The name of the beer is pretty basic, like the can says, beer. And it's brewed in Pasadena, Newfoundland, which is on the west coast, so that's Western Newfoundland Brewing Company. It's unpasteurized, and it's a blonde ale. And I really like the marketing for this can. And what I mean by that is, number one, the size of the can. There's nothing worse, like normally the beers that I review, not always, but 99% of the time, it's beers I've never had before. So I don't know if I'm going to like them or not. And it's a bit of a drag when I only buy one beer, because I don't know if I'm going to like it. And I have the beer and I really enjoy it, and it's the last one. So this kind of solves that problem. It's 946 milliliters, so I definitely got it. And I'm a proud Newfoundlander, and although the can is basic, I think it's kind of cool with the Newfoundland flag. So good job on the marketing. So a little bit about the Western Newfoundland Brewing Company. As I said, they're in Pasadena. They've been around since 2016. They actually started off, they were considered themselves a nano brewery as opposed to a microbrewery. And being a nano brewery just means basically they brew in smaller amounts. Now I don't know if that's still the case, because the book that I was reading with getting my information, they said at the time that there's only specific locations out on the west coast where you get the beer. You couldn't buy it at your NLC, or Newfoundland Liquor Corporation. However, I did pick this up, so I'm not sure if they've expanded their operations or if I just got lucky. But I've seen several of the beers here on NLC for quite a time, so I think they might be moved up to a microbrewery as opposed to a nano brewery. And something they like to do, they like to have their beers connect with the region where it comes from, Newfoundland. And specifically Western Newfoundland. As you can see, this got the big old Newfoundland flag on, so they've definitely done that here. And another beer I had was a Stout River, and it was actually on the can. It had trout, and they had the TR crossed out, and they had Stout River, and that's Trout River's location on the west coast. So they like to make a connection. And the funny thing is, two of the people that started the brewery aren't even from Newfoundland. That's my understanding. It was basically a gentleman and his father went for a camping trip to Newfoundland, and the son never left. And the father always wanted to start a microbrewery, so they met up with somebody out on the west coast, who I believe they had a cafe or coffee shop or something like that, a lady there, and they got talking with her, and the next thing you knew, the Western Newfoundland Brewing Company was born. So there you go. So I'm going to crack this open, and see what we got here. Give my glass a quick cold water rinse, as per usual. Pour it up and we'll go from there. As I said, it's a blonde ale, which is also has been called a golden ale or a summer ale. So obviously I'm expecting a golden color, and that's exactly what I got. I got to pour it up, and I still got more than half a can of beer. That's what I really like about this. Okay, nothing out of the ordinary with the aroma. Interesting. Not bad. As I said, it's a blonde ale, which is also a golden ale or a summer ale. So if you see any one of those three names, it's basically the same type of thing. Blonde ales in general, their alcohol content is normally between 4.5 and 5.5. And this one we have 5.0, so it fits right in there. Hoppiness is normally low to moderate. I'm not getting a lot of hoppiness out of this one, so definitely fits in there. Um, Blonde ales are normally smooth, crisp, and dry. I'm definitely getting that there. Which is funny because smooth, crisp, and dry, for me, if I hear those terms with reference to a beer, I think of a lager, not an ale. But a blonde ale are known for those as well. And it normally has a bit of a malty sweetness. Yeah, I think it pretty well fits into all those categories. It's definitely pretty easy drinking. No big aftertaste, so it's crisp and dry. And not a lot of carbonization. I mean, we got a little bit of head when we first poured it, but dissipated pretty quickly. Alright, now I gotta give this one a rating. As always, my ratings are out of 5, at 1 being a drain pour. Basically, I don't like it, can't finish it, I'm pouring it down the drain. At 2 being, yeah, I'm not a big fan, but I won't waste it, so I'll finish it. 3 being a good beer, a 4 being a very good beer, and a 5 being the best beer ever. So, to rank this one, I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm leaning towards a 3.5 or a 4. And once again, a 3 is a good beer, a 4 is a very good beer. If anybody's watched any of my other episodes, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm kind of stingy when it comes to my ratings. Even if I'm enjoying a beer, it doesn't mean I'm going, oh my god, it's 4.5. If I enjoy a beer, it's a 3. If I really, really enjoy a beer, it's obviously a 4. I think I've only had 1 or 2 4.5s. Never had a 5. I think if I ever get a 5, I'm pretty well done. That'll be the beer I'll stick with. I'm hoping I don't, because I really enjoy testing other types of beers. I think I'm comfortable giving this one a 4.0, and that's a very good beer. I'm definitely enjoying it. Won't have a problem finishing it. Yeah, I think it's a very good beer, which I'm glad I'm giving it a very good beer. The last one I had was Stout River, and I can't remember exactly what the issue I had with it, but I'm not a coffee drinker, so I don't know if it was too much of coffee flavor or what it was, but I think I gave it a rating I'm taking a guess, I'm going to say between 3 and 4, and afterwards I really had trouble finishing the beer, so it wasn't a bad beer, it just wasn't a stout that I enjoy. I don't mind some stouts, but I'm kind of picky on my stouts. I'm not, as I said, I'm not a coffee drinker, so if there's a lot of coffee flavor, it's definitely not for me. So I'm glad, as I said, 4.0 for this one. A very good beer. So there you go, folks. It's my rating for the Western Newfoundland Brewing Company's, like the can says, beer 4.0. Until next beer, as always, enjoy responsibly. And remember, wash your damn hands. We got to get through this COVID-19, excuse my language, bullshit together. We can do it together. It just takes a little bit of effort, but I'm sure we can all do it. So there you go, folks. Until next week, cheers. And as I said, this is the last episode for March Beer Month, Newfoundland Beer Month. For April, basic just random beers that I got in my fridge. I'm just going to go with those guys. Also upcoming, not for April, but upcoming, I'm going to have a Scottish Beer Month and also a Irish Beer Month. So kind of work around the British Islands here. So yeah, folks, hopefully you can join me next week. Cheers.